Hey family, welcome to Voice on the Porches. We've been talking about it for the longest.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
take you a little concept of what Voice on the Porches is. Voice on the Porches is real talk. So what happens is we may be on this porch, somebody else's porch. So we're gonna just talk about stuff that interests us and stuff that may interest you. Some of the stuff you hear, you may not, like. It's our opinion. So we're giving our opinion on what we like. Some you gonna like it, some you not. So this particular podcast, we're gonna talk about what men like. So it's a situation where a man might like a woman with kids, or another man might like a woman who has kids or don't have kids. It's their choice, it's their preference. And then you have somebody who just prefer a woman without kids altogether. So that's what our first podcast is going to be about. So just hang in there with us. We're going to talk about this for a little while. We're going to see what's going on. It's real talk. Voices on the Porches. Let's talk about it, guys.
Let's get it.
So the first thing is, for me, is I'm a type person that all my life I grew up talking to women with kids. And it wasn't by choice, it's just pretty much what came my way, what I preferred at the time, or what just kind of guided me in the right direction. And one good thing about it is, for me, it's the idea that this woman got kids, so that means she has an understanding of nurturing. So that if she runs across a man that really need a little bit of guidance, she can come in and she can say, hey, listen, here go what's going on. And then that man can sit there and say, okay, you know what, I gotta be a big guy. I gotta be grown. I gotta be an adult because this woman has kids. So therefore you learn to kind of respect that woman in the perspective of this is what she do. So for me, that's what attracts me to women with kids, because they understand that, they ain't that foolishness, ain't that really running on the street. They can't do everything that, a woman without kids.
But what if she got kids and she always dressed better than the kids? The kids look like trash and she look good. What about that part? What about them kind?
Well, the thing about it is, that's where it becomes a teamwork. The teamwork is both the people, adults in the relationship, understanding that, hey, the kids gonna come first in the relationship, because basically that's what it's all about. The kids are nice to be here, so therefore they get that opportunity to have two people. If it ain't the person that their natural father or natural male figure, somebody that comes in, they understand that. So from my perspective, that's what I like about it. I like that idea. So now from your perspective,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm just simply saying that, hey, it's a lot of times we meet these women and stuff like that, right? Truth be told, we meet these women, right? And you be like, okay, it's a nice, clean, wholesome woman, you know what I'm saying? She told me she got kids and stuff like that. Then boom, you see her out and kids, nappy head, dirty, all kind of stuff. But here it is, she dressed from head to toe, all the way clean, all that kind of stuff. Do that change your perspective of her? Or do you feel like you can bring her up to a point where, hey, we got to get your kid? How do you come across to her to tell her, hey, baby, how you looking better than your kids? How you gonna take care of your kids, but you always looking like a dime? You know what I'm saying?
Now I bring it to the perspective of this. It's getting her to understand that, by me liking women with kids, it's got to be something about it. I'm not going to fall for
right.
who
I got you.
But she's got to be that point there. She's got to be that person that says, she brings everything to the table. You don't know when you first meet her, but then all of a sudden, she said, hey, I got kids and all that.
Right.
But in that situation, that's how that would be what attracted me to her, because if she carried herself in a good way and she got kids, okay, I'm one step in the right direction of what she wants to. Right. But let's talk to T-Bone over here. So T-Bone, what's your
I got a different perspective from both of y'all.
We knew that already.
My perspective is, you are having to pick and choose how you're going to do things when it comes to a woman with a child. All right? So let's say, for instance, if I want to take a cruise. Right. A woman with a child, she can't just go out the spur of the moment and take that cruise with you.
They got babysitters on the cruise.
But it all depends on how many kids. And I agree with you. Right? They got you're right. But the kids still gonna need some of the time. If I'm gonna go on a cruise ship with her, I want all her time. I want it to just be me and her enjoying the cruise. Right? If you got kids, and I understand that. Let's say you got 2 kids, it's kind of hard to get somebody to watch 2-3 kids.
It is.
You know, so you that limit what you can and cannot do.
Right.
So I don't want to have what I can and cannot do. I'm the spur of the moment kind of guy. I like to go and enjoy myself, no matter what it is. If I say, hey, let's go out to a nice restaurant.
Right.
It's me and you, a romantic evening,
Right.
right? I ain't got time for you to be telling me, hey, I ain't got no babysitter tonight.
Right.
We can't do that.
Right.
So it doesn't limit what I can and cannot do.
I'm paying for that.
I just choose not to date the women with kids. It's a choice. It's just a choice. You might, on the other hand, you go pay for the kids to go eat.
Hey.
You go pay for a babysitter.
I'm paying for that babysitter, boy.
See?
Look at him, boy.
But I got a question for both of y'all.
Go for it,
So
man.
in my situation, it ain't that it's that I would prefer to date them. Don't mean I won't date a woman without kids. But from my perspective, I look at it from the point of stability. She has some stability. But going over here to T-Bone, you know, you prefer the woman not to have kids. You tell me what is the exception to the rule where it gets to the point where you say, you know what, I do like her, she have a kid, and I will make that one exception, or I will make an exception
This
time.
gonna be good. I want to
Yeah, I want to hear this myself.
Oh, man. Boy, you full court press that man.
So
I
for me, I think a woman that's got 3 kids, that's a deal breaker for me. That's a no. All right?
Little
And
grown.
It,
I'm just saying.
it don't matter to me. 3 is 3. The math gotta
They
add
might be
up.
grown and gone.
Nah, but 3 is 3.
Okay.
So if they gone, it
Alright.
still got an impact in her life.
You're
They
right.
still gonna have a
Okay.
say in there.
Okay.
You know, so I'd rather not have to deal with that.
They gonna
And
know what you talking
also you got fathers. You got absentee fathers that still want to be in the
Yes,
picture,
sir.
want to still have a say.
Boy, this getting
See?
good now.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with the absentee father at all.
right.
It's definitely some tomfoolery.
You know,
Yeah, Lord.
I remember when we grew up, my mom had a boyfriend, and every time he said something to us, first thing we say is, I'm going to tell my daddy.
Or you ain't my daddy.
Or you ain't my daddy. You know,
So you're gonna get that. But let's take another spin on it then. You kind of understand my perspective of preferring a woman with kids, his perspective of preferring a woman without kids. And just because we say we prefer it, don't mean that we will not date a woman without kids. We're just saying if you line them up and say, hey, what you want, this is what we want. So then you come to the knucklehead in the middle here.
Yes, sir.
So the knucklehead in the middle want to sit there and say
don't
it
give a
don't
damn.
matter to him if it's
I
if
don't
they got kids
care
or not.
if you got kids or not.
But the thing is, so now we're gonna talk about it. So let's talk about why he feel like it doesn't matter. to him.
Listen, let me tell both of y'all something. Let me tell you why I don't care. That listen. Let me tell y'all why I'm seriously on that note, bro. It don't matter if that woman got kids, man. Listen. First of all, I ain't gonna let nothing block my blessing. That might be the chick for me because she got kids. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a stand-up guy. If you got kids, hey, look here, man. I'm not here to take over that man's job or whatever. I done co-parented before. I done been married, and my wife done had my ex-wife, she done had an old man and all that kind of stuff. That didn't move. That didn't move nothing. You know what I'm saying? We co-parented. We did what we needed to do. You know what I'm saying? So from just my personal experience in my life at the time, it made me feel like, hey, you know what? I may not be able to co-parent with all of them, daddy, or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, some of them are knuckleheads or whatever the case may be. They still want to be with their baby mama, still got some kind of pressure on their chest or something like that. I'm the type of dude, I always been kind of a risk taker. Not to play a dangerous game or something like that, but I ain't never let no brother stop me from pursuing what I want. And I ain't never let no child get in the way of dealing with who I want. Hey, I take the necessary steps. If I want to chill with that chick, then guess what? Look, just call the babysitter. You just call whoever you need to call, and I'm gonna pay that babysitter because I want that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna burn bread on you anyway, so I might as well just do whatever I need to do.
I got a different question for both of y'all then, if that's the case.
All right,
Alright. So now, you guys that's willing to date women with kids, are you afraid that the kids gonna like you so much? And what happened if the relationship don't work and the kids done fell in love with you because you was that figure, that fatherly figure that they never had.
Now, I got a little stipulation to mine.
All right,
Hold on.
go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to that right now.
Okay.
But I got a little stipulation with mine.
Okay.
Though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't forceful with it. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to what's going on. She got to have her. If she got kids, she got to have her ducks lined up right too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in it for the setup mode and all that kind of stuff there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, mama, have your stuff together. Period, point blank.
All right. When you say have your stuff together, exactly what you mean by that?
Okay.
For somebody out there that may want to take this and run with it.
Okay. So we all here, as voices on the porch, we all got our own opinion. You ain't gotta agree with me. I ain't gonna always agree with everything these knuckleheads saying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna agree with y'all out there. I'm just simply saying from me. So for me, what I mean by that right there is, okay, in my younger days, I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? It was more like, hey man, just truth be told, this a real podcast. Truth be told, hey, look at man, I'm finna get this ass, I'm finna chill with this chick, whatever the case may be. But as you get older and you start raising your own kids, the respect level, it goes from here to here. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm not just gonna date any woman with kids. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't care how sexy, how fine you is, or whatever the case may be. Hey, it's a mentality. It's levels to this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So now that I'm older, you know what I'm saying? I want a woman, if she know her worth as a woman with kids, you know what I'm saying? You still got to know your worth. So if you know your worth, at the same time, I know my worth. I'm not gonna settle for less. You know what I'm saying? Whether you got kids or not. It's not that now. It's not. Oh well, man, I want that ass. You know, if it's all about a piece of ass, then you don't care about the kids. You really not there where you need to be at as far as the kids. You ain't really looking for growth. You know what I'm saying? But if you seriously trying to date somebody, I look at it like this right here. As a man who raised his kids, I didn't take my kids around every chick I met. Okay. Every chick I ain't bring all these chicks home to, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I go get a room or something, you know what I'm saying? My own self. I ain't taking you home to meet my kids and all this kind of stuff. You got to earn that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I want a chick that's gonna make me earn that, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, okay, I know you got kids, you ain't never, man, I've been dating you for a few months. I ain't never seen your kids, you know, or anything. You done showed me some pictures, you know what I'm saying? But that let me know that you're not bringing everybody that you meet, you're not bringing them around your kids because you got enough respect for yourself and your children. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring everybody around your children.
I'm feeling you on that. But let's say in a situation where you've been talking to this girl for a while, y'all pretty good, and like I said, that's not your preference, but you're giving it a chance to see what happens. Once you do that and find out that you know this girl is good or this woman is good, what T-Bone do you go? What takes you to that level to say, you know, I prefer this type woman, but I'll take this type woman? Is it the situation because now you got to know this woman and now the kids are cool, you know, got around and talked to them and find out, hey, these are good kids. They're well mannered, they're well this, they're well that. Is that a deal breaker for you as far as crossing that line, going from not really wanting to date someone without kids to one, okay, I can do this? So what is that deal breaker for you?
Well, it's kind of like what I was asking a little earlier. You know, what is it about having their stuff together? Right. You know, when you start telling about you want a woman to have her stuff together. Number one, if I meet a woman with a child, she's got to have it together. She got to have a job. She got to have a nice home for her child. You know, you can't be living in mama house. You know, you sitting there having a real struggle going on and you got a child and you're not doing the necessary things as an adult to bring that to the forefront for your child.
Right.
And I look at that. So right. I'm like, you know what? She ain't ready for me yet. Right. Because I'm the kind of guy, I got my stuff together. So I want a woman to come to the table, having her stuff together.
Look, so at the end of the day, you'll date a chick. With those you got her stuff together, you'll date a chick.
But that's what one. That's what one. That's what we talk about.
Okay.
All right. Okay. But that's not my preference.
Right. I get it. I get what you're saying.
So my preference is none, so that I can be able to move how I want to move when I want to move.
Right. I respect that.
But if she's the right woman, with the right upbringing, with the right character, with the right demeanor, you know, got herself together financially.
Right.
You know, her home is together. Now, let's speaking of a home.
Wait, you might need to get in the middle, bro. You might need to get in the middle. You're between both.
I'm just saying.
No,
No, I'm just saying. That's still not my preference. See, that's your preference is either. My preference is none. Okay, but I've done it before, so that's why I'm speaking on the part that I've done and the reason why I did it.
Well, we need to get one more person. You come in the middle, and that'll balance it out a little more. You over here with me, bro.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know, I was gonna ask you, Dan. I was gonna ask you this question. You say you prefer to date a woman with kids, but you didn't necessarily have any stipulations. Yours was just like kids. Period.
Listen, for me.
What, you gonna be the guy in the shoe?
Yes, sir. I'm the one in the shoe, open up and all the little critters come running up there. Hey, go on, Frank. Come on. Shirley, come on. Little Sean.
Yeah, I want to
hear
hear
this. For me, y'all gotta understand, and y'all been around me long enough to know, it's like wherever we go or in the process of the years that we've been together, the women that I date or that are attracted to me, for some reason, they got kids. It never fails. It's like, you know, I talk to this person, boom, boom, boom. I don't know they ain't got no kids. Y'all don't know, but by the time the conversation over, boom, hey, she got kids. They're like, boy, that's
at your age now. Is it an age limit though, bro? I mean, I mean, at your age, do you want a bunch of little road rats running around? I mean, or you prefer that she got grown?
Or is that another one? Though? It don't matter.
It don't. I knew you were gonna get me.
No, see.
I knew you were gonna stick me with it, bro. Hey, look. I thought about it when I said it. I said he T-bone in the retaliate.
So y'all got a good point there because, you know, in actuality, it really don't matter. Hey, if she make me happy, and I enjoy
Hey, let's get somebody on the other side of him. Maybe the three of us need to be in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Because y'all gotta understand, it don't matter to me the age of the kids. I ain't gonna say I want to be a newborn daddy again, or stepdaddy, and nothing like that. But it doesn't matter to me. It's all about the person, how she carries herself with me and with the kids.
Right.
So if she put all of us in the same bubble, and she kind of look out for all of us, and I look out for all of them, then yeah, it doesn't matter about the age. But because you gotta understand too, in a situation like me, because I prefer them like that, when they get to a certain age, I'm dealing with different things. Y'all would know that I'm dealing with this is a young adult or something like that. If I'm dealing, you know, at my age, if I deal with somebody with a kid, more likely they either in their late teens or early 20s, so they're grown. So
but being the guy that you are, we've been friends. All of us been friends 30 years. But being the type of guy that you are, you always been a home-based type dude, and you know I watched you raise your kids. You know what I'm saying? So I know you're a family-oriented guy. So do you take in perspective of what your kids think? Do you consider that? I know you got your kids. I know you.
I don't consider nobody opinion.
But
My own.
but
you
got dogs,
but do you take that into consideration?
I do take that into consideration because when I bring somebody around my kids, my kids are adults, so that's when they come visit. So my kids come visit, you know, and they see this person that I'm dealing with. It's a communication that they have because, you know, regardless, your kid's gonna always be there for you, even when this woman is gone. Or so therefore she's gonna be there for you down the stretch. Yes, it's gonna have to be a situation where there has to be an understanding with the kids. Not to come in, you can't come in and be an adult stepmom. It's just not gonna work that way. So you gotta come in and understand what the man is going through, what the dad is going through. And then later on, guys, don't get me wrong, we're gonna have women on the show that's gonna give it from another perspective. But what I'm saying to y'all is, from my perspective, she's gotta come in, my kids gotta respect her, she's gotta respect my kid.
Okay. I get what you're saying now. Speaking of respect, right? Since y'all like when y'all your preference is it don't matter. So let's talk about what matters. Let's talk about what matters. All right. So what if the woman that you're dating, kids are a little bit older, and they kind of disrespectful? How do you
Ooh,
overcome
Boy.
that in your choices?
And
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom.
And I know a lot of y'all feeling this question. He just
Yes,
asked.
sir.
A lot of y'all that
Lord.
feeling this question.
You smart
My
man,
answer
man.
to that question is, it's got to be all about respect because it's her kids, and I tell people this all the time, it's your kids. The respect has to be created by you, and then you have to make sure it's reciprocated down to me.
Just when that baby daddy
So
come in.
that's when they come in. Now that's a whole nother subject when you start talking about baby daddy. We just talking about the kids in general.
Okay.
The kids in general are disrespectful. It could be because they don't want to see their mom with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It could be almost anything. But what has to happen is she has to make sure her kids understand.
Right.
This is the person I want to deal with. If y'all are to that level, or this is a person that I'm dating.
It let you know. It let you know if she's serious about you too.
Yeah,
then.
because she
You know what
has
I'm saying?
she has to get those kids in line, and at the same time.
But your
those
foot got to be
kids-
down.
Yeah,
on
but
top.
those kids gonna have to respect you too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The respect has
your
to
foot,
come.
Your foot got to be down. It ain't
Let's go back though.
Okay.
What if they aren't? Is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Because for me, it's a deal breaker for me. It's an absolute no. If you don't have your kids together, and I'm gonna look in the camera on this one. If you don't have your kids
We talking
together,
about grown?
it's
I mean,
a definite no.
what
right?
what
Let's say
about?
teenagers.
Yes.
Let's say if she just happened to have a teenager.
Right.
You know, in that teenage area, they get a little, they start smelling themselves.
Right.
And they don't want to listen to nobody because the you not my daddy mentality.
Me, I'm the type of person. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm the type of guy that's just like with me and my everyday life. You know what I'm saying? I have to create my own bond. That's just all to it. I'm the type of one, and I've been in a position where I tell a woman, quick, hey, look here. I'm used to dealing with kids. I done raised kids. I done had kids who I eventually introduced them to somebody. And the whole thing about it, after I introduce them to them, hey, I may have two of my kids that feel that person, and I may have one that's just like, no, I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? And low key, the disrespect, I you know, if I catch the disrespect, I address it, but my addressment is not directed solely towards my child. It's not directly solely towards the person, but the way I come off at my child, because I feel like a child is supposed to be in a child's place. That's just how I was raised. So I feel as if, hey, look, I'm grown. This is my life. This is who I date. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, look here. This is what it is, and that's another adult.
Okay.
So I raised you to respect adults.
Okay.
So respect that person. I'm not telling you got to go somewhere with that person. You got to do this with that person. I'm not going to put that pressure on my child. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But I'm not going to put that pressure on that person that you got to totally deal with my child. But hey, it's going to be some interaction there. Now, my
Right, I
child
get it.
grown, I don't care. But if my child teenage and all that there, hey, look here.
Right.
Tighten up, little mama.
All right, you giving us a mouthful. So let me stop it. Something I
Okay.
heard, I want to make sure if
feeling
y'all heard what I heard, I want to kind of address something. I think the correlation between these two and their ability, one of them ability to say it don't matter, and the other one ability to say I'll date a woman, I prefer to date a woman with kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think the reason why you feel that way is because you are fathers? Because see, me not being a father, I can't see things the same way y'all do,
That's a strong point.
right?
That's a strong
So
point.
you think because you guys are fathers, you have a better
Yeah.
temperament
Yeah.
in dealing with those situations? Go ahead, Daddy.
I think that's a very good,
That's a
very
very
good
good
question, because you gotta understand too that because we know how our kids would, like I know how my kids would treat anybody who come around me. They're gonna respect them because that's the way they were brought up. But so like you say, when you come across someone that's disrespectful, then hopefully they can see what your kids bring to the table, how respectful my kids.
I guess I got a good taste because my kids ain't never been disrespectful to people.
They ain't, but it's on my mind there.
You know what I'm
but,
saying?
But guys, I'm gonna tell you something else. So we done sat here, we done harped on the kids in a relationship. Let's talk about these women who don't have kids. So do it come to a point where you feel like, and it ain't a matter of them being younger, it's older women without kids. do you ever come to the point, since Mr. Man on the spot who knows about this,
That's right.
do you ever come to the point where you feel like there's some babysitting going on? There's some teaching going on, some teaching and growing. I know we all go through that, but when you're talking about somebody who's never had it, like you don't have kids, so it's the same thing. Like if you met a woman with kids,
Professor,
she might think
Professor T-Bone, can
Yes,
you
sir.
answer that for us,
She might
please?
think that you're trying to. She might think that that she's showing you something, and you're not getting it. Do you feel that same way when you talk about women without kids?
No, because what I feel when it comes to a woman without a child, there's always going to be a level of maturity. Okay, you're looking for a level of maturity because you need to have a couple of things. You got to have communication. Communication is going to enhance cooperation. If you got the argument, that's going to create what? Conflict.
That's right.
So I feel like if you got the proper communication with a woman with no child, and you're on the same page, let's speak on growth first of all.
Right.
All right, one of the things you have to have when you start talking about a woman with no kids and a guy who don't have any kids is growth. What are you expecting to accomplish for us dating, us trying to go out and get to know each other? So once you get on that page of what we're trying to accomplish, we got to be on the same page, or it won't work.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So the maturity level for both got to be there. And just because you don't have any kids, don't mean you don't understand about kids. All right? So when you really think about that, I understand women, period. Whether you got kids or you don't. I understand a couple of things that a woman do like. They want to have a sense of security, whether you got kids or not. Right? You want to feel appreciated, whether you got kids or not.
Right.
And you want to be loved, whether you got kids or not.
Right.
So you got to have those three components coming after a woman with no kids, because you got to come at her the right way. You can't come at her like every Joe out here in the streets. So I get that. So when I come for a woman that got no kids, I'm coming from a place of, I got your back, you're going to have mine. If we can't have each other back, it ain't going to work. And the kids ain't got nothing to do with that. But my preference is a woman with no kids, because I want the flexibility to be able to come and go how I want to come and go.
That's a good point. And then, you know, in my situation, I like the idea that there's some control in the relationship. There's some plans in place. So
There's some controls in my relationship.
Right.
So just because you ain't got no kids, don't mean ain't no control.
Oh no,
Because
I definitely,
I'm gonna control it, because I'm gonna be that gentleman.
Listen, I always say this, man. I ain't always had kids. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you ain't always had kids.
So exactly. So I ain't always had kids. I mean, I had my time where I ain't had no kids. But
we all had time when we didn't have no kids.
But at the end of the day, I will say this: just like as if you had kids, if you grew up kind of with a father figure in your life, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be a little different, and also it can be a little different too when you grew up. Like myself, I'm the only child. You know what I'm saying? So it's different things, it's different avenues as far as growing up, different parts of as far as your walk of life that affects all of this. You know what I'm saying? It affects what you see and stuff like that. Even though I grew up with a father, my parents, they together now. I got my parents back together. You know what I'm saying? When I was 14, my parents got back together. When I was born, my parents separated. He went his way, my mom went her way. So I spent my weekends with my dad. You know what I'm saying? So by me spending my weekends with my dad and stuff, I learned some things, because my dad, I'm gonna be honest with you, my dad, he took me on his dates. And I never understood it. I'd be like, wait a minute. It's a Saturday night, we supposed to be together or whatever. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he done went on 2, 3. Oh, I'm finna tell you.
I don't know what he talking about. I ain't experienced that like this.
Listen. But what it boiled down to was, I saw stuff, and I saw my dad, you know, because I would go to certain places with my dad, and some chicks will have a child, or have kids or whatever. Some chicks didn't. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't see no change in him with it though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The way he got down, the way he presented himself, what he did for the woman without kids, he did for the woman with kids.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm
bottom
getting
line
at.
to it.
So that's it, bro.
That's
So that's what made me be the way that kind of the way that I am. It had a lot to do with it.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question, since because I know how, from my perspective, I don't have any kids, right? I make decent money, so I it comes down to money,
You make decent money,
right?
man,
That's
a whole nother story, boy.
It comes down.
Decent, man. Yeah, okay, decent.
It comes down to money.
I ain't got no comment on
So,
that.
We ain't talking about that.
so when you think about it, everything comes down to money. So dating a woman with kids, does that require a little bit more financial stability than, in my case, a woman with no kids?
we ain't gonna talk
does
about that
not?
with you.
I'm just trying to get the whoever out here need to know these things. If there's a man out here that's contemplating on dating a woman with a child, he need to know these things.
If I ain't know you, then we can have this conversation. But I know you.
So we gonna wrap this up, guys. But I was
They running for the money.
I was gonna comment on that, but I don't think I'm gonna comment on that. So
They running for the money.
Here's what I'm gonna say in conclusion. T-Bone, Night Rider Low, Danny D.
Yes,
guys, we voices on the porch. This is all we do. We sit out here,
That's it,
we
man.
drink, we talk, we laugh, and we talk about serious stuff. We're gonna have different people on this show. We're gonna have some people on there y'all want to hear.
And we're gonna be on different porches, man.
Yes.
We're coming to a
We might
porch
be
near
on
you,
your
man.
porch. We might be sitting there staring at you.
We might
You
be on your
never know.
porch.
So
When
guys,
they answer this financial question, I'm with y'all. We want to answer.
I'm going to answer.
Hey.
But hey guys, but listen up.
I know
Watch
one
the
thing.
video. Comment down in the bottom. We're gonna have another show where we're just gonna answer questions that you guys left for us in the comment section. So leave those comments down there for us tomorrow or maybe the next day. Either one, two, or all three of us will sit here. We're gonna answer some of those questions that you guys had that y'all couldn't ask us when we didn't go live.
Hey.
But just remember, we are who we say we are. We don't play. We straight shooters, guys. We are real talk.
Yes, sir.
Voices on the porches.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it, guys.
Peace.